When people ask me about being a pilot, they assume my Vietnam vet father inspired me. And they're right, but he wasn't the only inspiration. There was a young woman who played a part as well. A few years back, I was unpacking boxes when I came across this framed black and white print of the girl who was with me every step of the way. Judy Garland. Oh, that face of hers with those beautiful eyes that a young boy could get lost in. And the truth is, there wasn't much of anything beautiful in my world back then. A kid trying to find his way in a dying Rust Belt steel town as the Vietnam War came to a close. A quiet desperation in the air, like the toxic fumes pouring from those old smokestacks over the mill. And there I was, this shy, scrawny 7-year-old straight kid watching The Wizard of Oz with my old man, a former Army drill sergeant turned carpenter who loved musicals. Okay, I'm confused because the movie's in black and white. So he folds me up into his big, strong arms and whispers, "Shh, be patient, just wait." And once Judy starts singing, I'm right there with her, riding out that storm together and crashing into Oz, the whole world exploding into color. And it's all so beautiful. And she's beautiful. And all those old musicals, they became my beautiful Technicolor escape. It was me and the musicals, me and those songs, dreaming of Broadway and singing along to 76 trombones led the big parade, and Oklahoma where the wind comes sweeping down the plains. We watched them all together. West Side Story, The King and I, me and that drill sergeant, airborne ranger, dreaming of days gone by. It was everything and more to me. Gene Kelly and Fred Astaire, meet me in St. Louis. Judy, take me to the fair. But you never told me, Dad, that what I was learning to love the most, that dream of seeing those Broadway lights, was what I'd have to repress. How they'd laugh and call me names, a loser, a faggot, a freak, pretend it away and play along. So much for singing in the rain. How did you? Nobody laughed or called you a loser. No one ever said a word. I can still see you walk in the door, that military berry, so strong and so caring, with that airborne ranger tattoo. We went up and over the rainbow, you and Judy and me, together on that yellow brick road, September of '73. You dreamed of being a dancer once, something a poor kid couldn't do. Join the army to earn your jump wings instead, and that airborne ranger tattoo. I can still picture the moment, sitting next to you in the chair, the Tony Awards on TV, A year after Saigon fell, a chorus lines exploding on stage. And I imagine you there, all those dancers in formation, like soldiers marching off to war. Everyone in step together, and then you scream, that communist whore. Jane Fonda's face upon the screen, and your fist into the wall, a rage inside you burning. You whisper, why, what for? You left me to watch it alone. Yet you'll always be there, a broken bottle on the floor, and that question in the air. A 9-year-old kid looking up at you still, so strong and so caring, with that military bearing and that airborne ranger tattoo. Sometimes I'd imagine myself on stage, but I was young and insecure, afraid of what kids would say or do. So I turned to sports instead. But on the weekends, I'd get lost in those old musicals. Me and Judy and Mickey Rooney always putting on a show. And in high school, I see this cool revival of Camelot. And holy fucking Excalibur, I want to be a knight. My dad mentions the Air Force Academy about being a pilot, doing my jousting in the sky. But how can a kid be certain? The military? Not exactly my thing, I say. And that's when the old drill instructor smiles and gives me a glimpse behind the curtain. Everything's scripted, he tells me, from the haircuts and uniforms to all that marching in formation. Just play the part. Be patient and wait. Remember, this is just Act 1, just the start. You know who you are, so you'll be fine. Get an education, son. Do your best. Learn to fly. But it's hard to imagine. Hell, I'd never even been on a plane before. And then it happens in that out of nowhere kind of way after I saw the movie Hair. Well, you wouldn't watch it with me, Dad, saying, those hippies can go to hell. But I had to watch it. I had to. And I wish you could have seen them, kids like you and me, dancing and singing in search of themselves, so young, so fearless, so free. If you'd been there, you'd have felt it. Yeah, I know the war. But there was this moment, Dad, this beautiful moment, when everything came together, this amazing scene at the end, the might for right I'd been looking for. A man giving his life for a friend. those soldiers in formation coming together in song. Marching on to that C-130, standing so tall and strong. And I could see you with them as the plane took to the sky. Young men like you on their way to war, a chorus of one as they climb. Let the sun shine in. The sun. Shine in. Isn't that what it was all about? Isn't that what it was for? I never told you, Dad, but it was that C-130, like those you jumped from years before. Suddenly, I could see myself there, me up front, and all those soldiers in the back like you. I'd be the one to keep them safe and the one to bring them home. I never could have dreamed that one day I'd fly that very same plane into combat. But no glimpse behind the curtain could prepare a kid for that miserable life as a cadet. I'm talking a Les Miserables kind of miserable, and yet I stick it out, hiding in the music room at the library and losing myself in Broadway soundtracks. Not exactly one of those be all you can be commercials, because the truth is I don't fit in. I'm just doing my best to play along when I come across an old album I never heard before. Judy Garland live at Carnegie Hall. Those eyes on the cover looking up at me as if she's been waiting for me to find her. And when I slip on those headphones, it's like I am right there in the front row, and she is singing just for me. Pick up your troubles. Come on, get happy. You got to chase all your cares away. And I did. And then I meet a girl, a real girl, this cool artsy girl, a girl who doesn't wear fatigues. And I am really into the girl. And I work up the nerve to tell her. I like musicals, do you? And she's like, cool, yeah, I like them too. And I'm like, no, I mean, I really like musicals. I'm not so sure it's helping. And before I know it, we're at a midnight showing of something crazy, great and wild. She tells me something I have to see. But everyone's in drag with leather jackets and wigs. I'm not sure this is my thing. Me and my pink polo shirt, white tennis shoes and jeans. Relax and wait, she says with a kiss as she takes my hand and smiles. And suddenly everyone's throwing rice and toast and dancing in the aisles. So amazing and astounding. The Rocky Horror Picture Show. Crazy, great, and wild. So, the next month, I signed up for my squadron's lip sync contest. My first time on stage, and when I stepped into the spotlight and rip off my robe, everything stops. 'Cause I'm in full drag. That's right. I am just a sweet transvestite from transsexual Transylvania. The audience explodes into this high five, standing ovation, and I am floating on air. Of course, it all comes crashing down when my commander calls me into his office to say I am sending the wrong impression. And suddenly I'm that 9-year-old kid again, my old man's voice reminding me to play along, so I do. I joined the rugby team like the other misfit athletes at the academy, losing myself in the weight room and sending the right impression by inflicting as much pain as possible on the field as I stiff-arm my way to MVP. The fact is, I stopped caring. I don't give a flying fuck what anyone thinks, including me. And then, out of nowhere, I come across it at this little art shop in the mall, that black and white image of Judy's face, the one from A Star Is Born. I bring it back to my dorm room and I hang it on the wall, just waiting for someone to call me a fag or a loser. But nobody says a word. And after graduation, I head to New York before the start of pilot training. I remember you saying, "Be careful, son, a lot of freaks out there." And how I wanted to tell you more about all the shows I'd be seeing and how I played the part of a cadet so well that I graduated with honors. But you'd started to lose your way by then. The drinking had taken hold in. We were traveling different roads. So there I was, in Times Square, looking up at those Broadway lights on my own. This beautiful explosion of sound and color coming alive in a way I never could have imagined. All those incredible shows, Into the Woods, Phantom of the Opera, Les Mis, and La Cage aux Folles. Oh my God, La Cage aux Folles. A bunch of men performing in drag. Act 1 coming to a close with that amazing song. I am what I am. I am my own special creation. It was me and the musicals, me in those songs, dreaming of Broadway and singing along. A year later, I graduate pilot training and walk across a different stage, silver wings pinned upon my chest. You couldn't make it, Dad, and that's okay. You had struggles of your own. I know. I just wish you could have seen it. That kid, your son, playing the part of a pilot at last, taking to the sky on his own. Me, that kid, looking back at you still. So strong and so caring, that military bearing, and that airborne ranger tattoo.